Hi, everyone. This is Adam H. Cole, financial relationship counselor and money and relationships expert with AHK Coaching. Thanks so much for joining me. And we got a really great video today. It's about if you stay till the end, you'll be able to know what to do if you and your spouse, or when you and your spouse have different priorities about money. Because this is extremely common. Sometimes it's at a really high level, like one of you really values living in the now, and one of you also really values saving for the future to have more security. And that looks like it can create a lot of tension because the person who wants the security is maybe going to be anxious when the other person's spending, and the person who likes to spend and enjoy life, they are going to feel kind of restricted and maybe frustrated, irritated, annoyed, resentful, right? When the other person is like, hey, why are you spending that money? Or if they kind of know that they're anxious about it, right? So these are some funky dynamics. And for many of you watching, you may be in either position in this relationship. And of course, neither one is better or worse, good or bad. I personally am more the saver side. Let's get a deal on everything. We don't need that. Let's not buy it. Let's put more in the savings account. That's more my default personality. And one of the things I've done in my journey is learn how to kind of free up a little bit more, spend on things that feel and seem worth it and important for me. But here's what you do when you and your partner have different priorities. The first thing you want to do is just understand your own priorities better. Not just what are they. So let's say you're the person who wants to really live in the now. Well, two things. One is dig in more to that, and two is why. Why do you want to live in the now? Maybe this is the example you saw from your parents. Maybe you know someone who passed away at a young age and didn't get to spend all the money they worked so hard on. And taking a look back at where some of those ideas have come from is going to be really powerful for you. Secondly, you want to think about, well, what's really going on here? What is it that I'm looking for, right? I want to live in the now. So what is it that I want? Adventure? Maybe I want adventure, right? Maybe I want glamour. Whatever that is, look at kind of the next level down the surface. Because if you want adventure, then there might be ways to do that without spending a lot of money. If you want glamour, there might be ways to do that without spending a lot of money, okay? And when you do this work, then you could sit down with your partner, and let's say they are the saver. Well, you want to understand, why do you feel saving is so important? What are your fears, worries, anxieties? How did you come up with the amount that you want to save? What level of security feels important? And you can ask them these really interesting, probing, open-ended questions. And I actually have a money and relationship story handout that's really powerful work in doing some of this unpacking. And I'll link to that below the video that you can get. And basically, this is just going to have you understand, okay, why do I have these anxieties, fears, and worries? Again, not that they're bad, but maybe you had a parent that was that way, or maybe you grew up in poverty, and so you're always worried that money's going to go away. Sometimes in that situation, people can respond by like, well, I better spend it while I have it. Sometimes they respond by hoarding it and not wanting to let any of it go. And again, none of this is good or bad, but you want to look at why and start to think about, no matter where you are on any of these spectrums, like, how is this affecting your life? Are there ways in which it might be holding you back from your goals in any particular way? And once you've done this work on yourself, right, you want to have these conversations with your partner. You want to have these conversations together. Ultimately, if you can just realize that they are not being a jerk on purpose, what's going to be underneath that is you both want to live great lives, right? Now, but for some people, living great lives means we need a certain level of security, right? Or maybe it means we need to have a certain level of adventure. And once you start to discover all of that under the surface, then you can look at some ways to both heal whatever pieces of your money story and money mindset are not working for you, and also to work together to find options that will work for both of you. So maybe there's ways to have a certain amount of money put aside, or maybe one partner you can have accounts where you each do whatever you want with the money, and one can do an adventure and one can save it, right? Maybe you all don't necessarily want to go on the same trips together, so the one person can spend their money on that and the other person doesn't have to. There's so many different ways, but if we're just on the surface of like, ugh, why do you never let me spend? And ugh, why are you always trying to spend money? And we do it without a plan and blah, blah, blah. If you stay on that level, you're going to continue to have the same results you've been having, which probably have not been very good, probably at a frustration, resentment, maybe bitterness could even translate into anger and avoidance of this topic altogether, which, trust me, I've seen it before. It is not a good place to be. It can really negatively impact your relationship. So really, the steps here are to take a deep breath. Remember, your partner's not being a jerk on purpose. Start to dig into and understand why you have the mindset with money and you choose to spend it or save it or work for it the ways that you do. And then invite your partner into a conversation where you can get beneath the surface and see the values and what a good life looks like for each of you. And then once you're there, you'll be able to talk compromise. You'll be able to find common ground. Doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. Doesn't mean you're going to see 100% eye to eye. But these kinds of conversations will go a really long way to making sure each of you has what you need to be happy and thrive both individually and in the relationship. So thanks again for watching. That's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, share it on your social media, subscribe below to my channel. We have weekly content here like this on the topic of money and relationships. All really great stuff. I know you'll be totally worth it if you join. And if you're interested in working with me, I'll post a link below. You just go to bit.ly/financial harmony consultation, bit.ly/financial harmony consultation, where you can book your free financial harmony consultation with me to see what you're dealing with and how I might be able to help. Thanks again for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day.